Last but not least, it's time for us to do a little bit of logic. Are you ready? So in this one, I know naman in logic, there are 5 statements that you're going to write. Pero I'll explain to you one by one as we go along. We have to finish this video in less than 10 minutes, okay? Pero this one is just easy because all you have to do is to just identify if it's true or false. Sabi dito, write if the statement is true. If it were false, underline the word you think that is false, then write the correct answer on the blank. That's very easy for you to do, okay? So, di ba remember T or F? And then kung false, you have to change the underlined word or change whatever word and write it on the blank. Okay? So, very easy, okay? Now, let's start. Number 1. Reading books every day will make your leg cell power increase. Reading books every day will make your leg cell power increase. Reading books is referred as a P statement. Aya! In logic, ang P, it refers to the hypothesis. What are you going to formulate? Tapos yung Q, that is the outcome. Like for example, working very hard will empower you to become productive. So P stands for what will happen. What are you intending to do? Then Q is the consequence. What is the effect? Diba? Like for example, using too much of gadgets, that is P, what will happen? And then Q will make you an addict. Or taking too much alcohol, that is P, will make you addict. Or smoking excessively will make you a smoke addict that you will never stop. Yun. Kaya nga that's P. P is what you intend to do. What do you plan to do? And then Q results as the outcome. Diba? That is logic. Pero in this statement, it says reading books every day will make your leg cell power increase. Reading books is referred as a P statement. Yes, that's true. Sinunod ko dito, true. Bakit true? Kasi nga, diba remember, why reading books is considered as P? Because when you read books, that is the hypothesis you're going to conclude. Because if you want to let your leg cell power grow, you need to read every day. Next, number 2. Red means stop. The color red is referred as Q. Ayan. Diba remember in this statement, red means stop. Ang Q ay yung conclusion. The color red is referred as Q. Red means stop. Yes, red means stop. That is correct. Pero the color red is referred as Q. Is that correct? Wrong. Although red is stop, that is correct. Pero, do I remember what is the P? What does red mean? Q means stop. So, like for example, if you go past through a traffic light, di ba nakita mo yung traffic light na nagsignal ng green? Alam mo ba yung trending game na yun, yung Squid Game? Red light, green light, di ba? Yung green light, ibig sabihin, pasok. Red light, stop. Di ba? Kaya that's why that's how the game is meant to be played. Green light means go, red light means stop. So therefore, red is the hypothesis, the P, and stop is the Q, the outcome. Di ba? So therefore, the color red is referred as P. So therefore, you change red to stop. So therefore, the color red, the stop is referred as Q. Di ba? But I wrote here, change Q to P. Bakit ganon? Because, di ba remember, sabi dito, red means stop. So therefore, I change red, the color red is referred to P. So that's false. So kung false, change one of the words and make it correct. Next, number 3. If pag-asa signals na walang pasok, then everybody should just be at home. True or false? That's true. Because if I remember, what is the P statement? The P statement is pag-asa signals walang pasok. What does that mean if pag-asa signals walang pasok? The intended function. And then the outcome is, we all stay at home. Diba remember palagi kapag nakinig ka sa balita, and then diba remember sabi ni weather forecaster, na walang pasok, Medyo Manila dahil sa super inclement na bagyo. Ibig sabihin, that because of a certified strong typhoon, classes all levels hanggang koleyo suspend na. So therefore, classes are suspended, therefore, you have to stay at home. So that's also another thing you can conclude. If pag-asa signals walang pasok, therefore, all classes have already been suspended. That is true. Well, it depends upon some situations. Okay? And therefore, if classes are suspended, where should everybody stay? At home. That is using logic. Okay? Next, number 4. If the door is locked, then a key is needed to unlock it. This is a conditional statement. Ayan. In logic, we have the 5 statements. We have conditional, inverse, converse, contrapositive, and biconditional. If P, then Q. That is conditional. If not P, then not Q. That is inverse. If Q, then P. That's converse. If not Q, then not P. That's contrapositive. And then biconditional, it refers to 2 conditions. P will only be if and only if it's Q. Diba? So yan. So therefore, in this one, if the door is locked, then a key is needed. So the door is locked, is that P? Yes. What do you say if the door is locked? Then you need a key to unlock it, that is Q. Of course, you need a key to unlock only locked doors. So therefore, that is a conditional statement. P and Q. That's correct. It's true. Next, number 45. The farmer can harvest the crops if and only if they are fertilized by sunlight. Yeah, of course, this implies science. Kasi lahat yung mga magsasaka, they have to harvest the plants, harvest the crops. They need to harvest it through sunlight. Not only through sunlight, but they can also harvest it through the manure on the soil. Fertilized by the manure or the fertilizer. O pwede pa in sunlight kasi you're not so good at farming products. Pero yun naman, that's still true. Pero if you're really good at this, try to help me, okay? I'm not so good at current events. So therefore, it's false. So change sunlight to manure on the soil. And this is a biconditional statement. So it says here, the farmer can harvest the crops if and only if there's only one condition, which is fertilized by sunlight. Diba? If there is fertilizer and sunlight, if and only if the farmer can harvest. Pero that's really biconditional. Okay? Next, number 6. If the number 25 were taken by a square root, they would only then only positive 5 is the answer. Wrong! Diba remember, you know naman, based on logic, whenever you take a root, the square root of a number, we know that it is both positive and negative. So therefore, this is false. So therefore, change positive 5 is only the answer to positive 5 and negative 5. Yan, di ba remember that's how I did, di ba? Change only 5 to both positive 5 and negative 5. Because you remember, when you take the square root of 5, this can yield either positive 5 or negative 5. Di ba? So type square root, di ba? Square root of 25. You get 5. Either positive or negative. Because di ba remember, we have negative 5 squared. And we still get 25. Or, we can do this condition. If, logical test, negative 5 squared if negative 5 squared negative 5 squared equals five squared, that's the logical test. If it's correct, true, false. Diba? So yan. Negative 5 squared, that's supposed to be 25. 5 squared will give you 25. If it's true, yes, that's true. So therefore, the correct answer should be change only positive 5 to both positive 5 and negative 5. So dapat your answer is false. Next, number 7. If you don't deposit 8,500 pesos with an interest rate of 9.5% per annum, then you won't get 3,230 pesos as interest after 4 years. That is an inverse statement. Ibig sabihin, if you deposit a different value with a different interest rate, then you will get a different answer. Kasi remember, you deposit 8,500 pesos, and then the rate is 9.5%, and then after 4 years, you get 3,330 pesos. So therefore, how is it true? Ganito kasi yun. So I use the if formula. if the product of 8,500, diba, that's a P times R, 9.5%, that's 0.095. And 4 equals 320, 3,320. If it's equivalent to this one, either true or false. If it gives you the correct answer, true. If it gives you the wrong answer, that's false. So yes, that is true. To verify, let's also do this. Diba, we have 8,500. $9.5 divided by 100, 4 years. Tama, you get 3,230. And that is true. Next, number 48. If you want to receive a final amount of 692.30 pesos after 10 years, then you must deposit 96,000 pesos at 12% interest rate compounded by monthly. This is a converse statement. Of course, this is a converse statement because, diba, remember the amount, this is the amount, diba? So, diba, remember the P, that is the intended function. Like you deposit 96,000 pesos at 12% interest rate compounded by monthly. Diba? After 10 years. And then, your final amount, that is the output, which is a Q. So, therefore, it is converse. Q comes first and then P. Yes, that's correct. But is that true? Let's see. Let's try to type that in the formula. So, diba, remember we have the principal of 9,600 pesos, diba? First, diba, remember ang ginawa namin, we did this. 12% interest rate. 12% and then compounded by monthly. That is 6, diba? We get 0.02. Then this answer here, plus 1, diba? And then this one, we raise it to the 10th power. And then this answer here multiplied by our principal of 96,000 pesos. Did we get the answer? Wrong! The answer was supposed to be, ano yun? 170,023 pesos. So therefore, you can change this in many ways. You can change that, kasi nga ang ginawa ko dito, I change 279.6 to 2.3, that is the final amount, to, tama, that's supposed to be, ano yun? I forgot to multiply it by the product. So, raising that to the 60th power. So, tama, that's supposed to be the right answer. Diba? Kaya that's supposed to be how it's meant to be done. Simple talaga yung sagot. Pero ang ginawa ko sa solution sheet ay ganito. This one is true. This one, I made it like this. So, I got this answer and then I got this one. So, therefore, that's wrong. So, therefore, you're gonna have to convert that into 6, di ba? So, dapat that's false. So, dapat change 279,000 to 316,000. And that is your final amount. Di ba, remember your final amount is 279,000. So, therefore, you need to change that to 316,000. Okay? Pero let's say, for example, if you want to solve for any of the time values, you can also, what you call this, apply the concept that you learned in compound interest to solve for each. Pero di ba, never mind about that, okay? But to show you what I did here, we got false because of this. If this one, the compounding formula, 0.12 divided by 6, and then, it's bi-monthly kasi. Kasi hindi ba remember, sabi dito, bi-monthly. So, therefore, it's being raised to the 6th power. So, dapat that's supposed to be, ano yun? That's supposed to be, ano yun, 60. Di ba? At yun nga, that is completely false. Diba? Because doing this will give you this answer. And then we add 1 and then raise it to the 60th power and then multiply that to give you that answer. If it gives you the right answer, that's true. If it's wrong, then false. So, of course, it's false. We know why it's false because it did not give you the right answer. And furthermore, you need to change either of the one. But what I did is I changed the future value to to make it, 314,000. Yan, so that is how you're gonna change. Or you can also change the time unit, or the compounding period, or the rate. It depends upon how you're going to do it. Kaya nga, it's your job to decide. But I will show you that lang some other time. Next, number 9. We have, a man will be a gunboat in the Iron Fortress if and only if he were a driller in the waste sands. This is a biconditional statement. Of course, it is a biconditional statement because, di ba remember ang sabi dito, that if P, if and only if Q. Di ba? Although you can see kasi naka-pink. Pero what you call this, in my time-different zodiacs, if you're a gunboat in the Iron Fortress, therefore, your role is to be a gunboat. A NABAM airship and a driller. Yes, and that is false. Kasi remember, it's not only driller only. Kasama pa yung NABAM airship. Like for example, diba remember, you look at your toys, diba remember this is the driller, diba? This one is NABAM airship. So combining these two Mario characters together, this is Kingsley, and then this is the gunboat. They're all combined to be gunboats in the Iron Fortress. So therefore, this one is a gunboat. If this were a NABAM airship in the waste sands, this one is a driller in the waste sands. Both of them combined together will be a gunboat in the Iron Fortress. So therefore, having Wario, NABAM airship will not only be true. Having driller will not only be true. So dapat both. So therefore, the correct answer is change driller only to driller and NABAM airship. So that is false. Although you can't understand the time-different zodiac, pero never mind na. Last but not least is number 50. If God is unsatisfied, then you didn't sacrifice your thank offerings for Him. This is an inverse statement. If God is satisfied, yan, di ba remember, if God is satisfied, then you don't sacrifice your thank offerings. This is an inverse statement. Wrong. Change inverse to converse. Di ba remember, if you didn't sacrifice your thank offerings to God, kasi di ba remember, the output is you want to make God happy. Di ba remember in Christianity, if you want to make God happy, you need to sacrifice your thank offerings. Lalo na di ba remember, it says in the Bible that you need to sacrifice your thank offerings to the Lord in order for you to become blessed. So if you want to be blessed upon the name of the Lord, you need to sacrifice all your thank offerings to Him. And if you don't sacrifice your thank offerings to Him, therefore, you are not, you're making God unhappy. So the output is making God unhappy, and that is the Q. Unsatisfied. If God is unsatisfied, therefore, you didn't sacrifice your thank offerings. And that is converse, diba? God is unsatisfied, you didn't sacrifice your thank offerings. Kasi nga, diba remember in inverse, this is the P. If you write in conditional, if you sacrifice your thank offerings to the Lord, God is satisfied. That is P to Q. Inverse is, if you don't sacrifice your thank offerings to God, God is unsatisfied. Yes, that is H. That is the inverse. Pero if you're going to do the converse, if God is unsatisfied, you didn't sacrifice your thank offering. If God is satisfied, you sacrifice your thank offerings. So that is wrong. You have to change inverse to contrapositive. So therefore, this is supposed to be contrapositive. Just like what I wrote here. At yun lang. And in biconditional statement, you will satisfy God if and only if you sacrifice your thank offerings to Him. So yun lang. I do not know why they make that statement, pero I know it's true. And that's it. So that's all our 50 word problems in mathematics. Thank you so much for having the review with me. And God bless ka na sa pag-aaral mo. See you guys soon. Bye!